Hello worms, just a quickie. You probably know I'm a bit SJW. I mean, I've got the obligatory blue hair and, the obligatory shaved sides and the obligatory no makeup. Um, so, what you're getting in for when you watch my channel. And if you don't want to watch it, then, you can go and watch Nick Fuentes. Talking to Nick Fuentes, I've just been watching Louis Theroux's Forbidden America. And oh my god, Nicholas Fuentes, what a loser. He's got no girlfriend. He's living in his mum's basement. Even his followers are doing better than him. They've got flats, or apartments, whatever you call them in America. They've got their own, they're independent people. And this guy, he is the ultimate, I don't want to mean, but he really is the ultimate neckbeard, living in his mum's basement. I'm sure there's plenty of people who live in people's basement who are perfectly lovely, but he doesn't do much for the archetype, does he? It's absolutely hilarious. And oh jeez. I want to do a long form video about this, but I need a few tips how to get video, capture video, because I haven't got a good enough PC at the moment. I'm going to get one soon, but I want to do something about this sooner rather than later, and I don't want it to look crap. So any tips you can give me is fine. I mean, honestly, this is enough to put me off being a gamer. Not that I wanted to be a gamer anyway, but one of the brilliant things about being a gamer is you do learn how to do streaming, and you do learn how to capture video, and you do learn how to. I'm afraid that YouTube and gaming are sort of so intrinsically linked. It's like they're fucking each other, and I'm like part of this kind of like virgin community that just hasn't got involved in that kind of swinging community. If you want to call it swinging community, it is a kind of, because you've got YouTube people and you've got streamers and you've got gamers, and they're all like integrated with each other, and they all know how to do things, and and I don't know how to do things. I feel like I'm a virgin. It's disgusting, and it's disgusting for me. It's not disgusting that that thing exists. It's just like I feel like disgusted that at the age of 51, I fucking not. I haven't got a clue, and I don't want to not have a clue, because I've got things I want to say, and if I have to say them by joining the gaming community or whatever it is, getting on Twitch or whatever it is, I want to do that, but I'm not going to reach the amount of people that I want to reach. And you've got Nick Fuentes saying that people in wheelchairs are evil, and I want to say something about the disabled community and promote us, because a lot of the SJWs just fuck. We are fucked by the SJWs. They don't really even know us, right? Because we're like, it's just like, what? I don't know. I mean, maybe if I came up with some evidence that disabled people were slaves or something, but in the media, disabled people are kind of like Paralympians, or some kid that belongs to a middle-aged family that is seeking this special cure or something. And all the time you hear about autistic kids, it's white middle-aged kids. And that's given us a really bad representation. And it's just like, yeah, okay, I'm privileged, and I live in a house, and I'm lucky that I married someone that can keep me going, but he's working his fucking arse off, and I'm really worried about him, to be honest. I don't think he should be working his arse off to support me. I want to support myself. And I met someone today, they were filming me as part of an arts workshop thing, and we had a good old, we had a little bit of a chat. And I said, well, I'm doing this on my phone, right? So this is not a good, example of this. I said, but I've got a camera and green screen and stuff, a lighting kit and sound kit, and I used to work in TV. And he said, why don't you go out and do it? And I was like, because I've just not got the confidence. So, all the time that men run the world. I think there's more ugly men with beards on YouTube than there are older women. Why is that? Why are they allowed to get away with that in 2022, right? Anyway, I'm just going to show you my t-shirt. I've designed this myself. I'm quite proud of this, actually. There we go. What? Feeler Day. I hope I'm not going to get sued for copyright, but I took a still from the film, and you know, I think it was pretty good, especially on this light blue. So if you're interested in buying that as merch, please leave a comment down below, and I will put a link up, because I'm not so pathetic that I'm just gonna, well, maybe I should push myself forward a bit more, I don't know. I've had a long day. I've had a long day. I've had the general public and yeah, and tell you what, in typical ADHD style, I was looking at the clock on the wall in my cabin that I work in, and my boss said, right, I've got to finish at 3, so I started packing up at what I thought was 10 to 3, and then I got in the car. No, I didn't get in the. Oh, God's sake. No. Before I got in the car, I went to sign out, and everything was locked, and I thought, wow, that's a bit previous. So I got in the car, and I drove to my mother-in-law's to drop her off a Mother's Day card and stuff like that. And it kind of occurred to me that something is a little bit off. So I looked at my phone, and it turns out that I'd spent an hour longer at work than I needed to. And I wondered why it was so freaking quiet. So they locked the fucking gates. And that's why I couldn't get into sign out. I was like, oh my God, I just sat there for an hour. And I've got a sick cat that I need to feed frequently and often, because he's got lymphoma and he can't eat a lot at one go, and I have to, and I was like, no, what? I was supposed to leave at 3 and I left at 4, and it doesn't sound like a big deal. I mean, I was reading some quite interesting books actually that they got there, but they had a book there called about how I used to live, which is a TV thing that we used to have in the school's television service growing up, and I used to find it really boring, but the book was actually excellent. It really was. And actually, I wish there was a maybe a YouTube site that's got how I used to live now, because I think I'd be really interested in it, because they recreate like certain versions of periods in history. So I got right into this book, and I didn't even think to look at my phone to think that my phone had one sort of certain time, the clock on the wall didn't. Because obviously, in a workplace, they don't fucking change the clocks, do they? So anyway, and then I went to the shop, and it was closed because it was past the time I thought it was open, and they're like, oh, lordy. Anyway, so if you've got any tips for me to capture video, I want to really do a video essay on Louis Theroux's Forbidden America. So Forgotten America, that's a whole new agenda, isn't it? Forbidden America. I've got so much to say about this. I really do. And I don't do the whole preamble like most people do. A preamble when they post YouTube videos, like to rack up the time. But I don't know how to do that. I really kind of like, I just want to get in, do it, and get out again. Well, that sounds pretty disgustingly annoying. Yeah, so I'm very much a person who just wants to say what I feel like. The preambling and that, it's icky. Ooh, mine has just gone. It's gone off and it's gone on again. So sorry, I'm doing this on my phone. So this is just a little quickie, and so I've got a one is next to me, and I've got the window next to me, and like I said, because the clocks have gone forward, and I completely messed that shit up. So now it's blimey, 20 to 8, and it's light. I can never get over this in Britain. All of a sudden we've got light evenings. It's crazy. It really is crazy. and the cruel thing is, like, you don't know what the weather's going to be like, so you get all excited and you think, yeah, I'm going to have a barbecue because it's not going to get dark, and then it's fucking freezing cold and pissing down with rain. So anyway, so yeah, I want to do a video essay on Nick Fuentes, especially because I find it so hilarious. It's like, white people settled this country, white English people settled this country, and I'm like, wait a minute, Fuentes? Oh, that's really typically British, isn't it? That's really typically English. Really, totally sounds English, doesn't it? Absolutely. What have they got up in these brains, mate? What? Just any amount of critical thinking, but, you know, the education system being what it is, I guess. I mean, even going to university, you don't really get you know, an insight into critical thinking. I'd like to think that I had critical thinking right back when I was 10 years old, because I just thought there were so many things in the world that didn't make sense. And then I realised that they don't make sense. And that's a very young time to realise that shit doesn't make sense. But, you know, if you live in a conflicted household, then you start to realise that things don't make sense, and then you have to go through the world unpicking things. Sometimes you do it wrong and sometimes you do it right. And one of the things I did do recently was I was chatting to a friend of mine, and I said, when this war in Ukraine kicked off, I said to them, look, oh, this is going to be brilliant for Boris Johnson. And they said, how can you be so cynical? And, you know, in the back of my mind, because I know people, I know how shit they are. And they said, and I said, well, you know, sorry about that, and then I changed the subject. But then a few weeks later, Jacob Rees-Mogg said that he was comparing the Ukraine situation to Brexit. A lot of people in the press have said that, you know, this is a good deflection from Jacob Rees-Mogg. I can't actually remember. No, I need to make notes. But it was like what Boris did in Partygate was fluff, and what's going on in Ukraine is more important. And isn't that exactly what I was saying before? I think I posted this on Twitter a couple of months ago. Not a couple of months ago, but when this whole thing with Ukraine really started getting bloody and disgusting. And I said, yeah, what convenient war. And everyone, you know, people were saying to me I was being disgusting and that. And then all of a sudden, all these Conservative MPs turn up and, you know, say, oh, this and that, like, oh, well, Partygate was a fluff, or look at this, look at that, no, don't look at us, look at that, you know. And I know they didn't start it, I know our country didn't start it, like, but I can't help but compare this to the Falklands, because I was, you know, I was around and aware of what the Falklands was. I didn't really realise the political machinations of it until later. But what Margaret Thatcher was trying to do was to use a war to make herself look better and to deflect from the other things that were going on in society. And I can't help but think that's what Boris Johnson's doing now. It's like, look over there. Don't look at me. Look over there. You know, the difference being is now Ukraine is just completely innocent in it. You know, we haven't got you know, we don't live in the Ukraine like we live in the Falklands and Argentina and Falklands, blah, 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 but we don't even have I mean, we do have some skin in the game as far as that they're in Europe, but we don't really have any skin in the game this time. And they are using that, Ukraine v Russia, to deflect from all the shit that's happening. And then they sanction Roman Abramovich and all of this and all of that, these Russian oligarchs that they totally let go. You know, they totally turned a blind eye to when it suited them. And now, because of political pressure, they're like, oh dear, we're going to have to do something about this now because people are noticing. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. The thing is, it is all optics now, isn't it? You've got Nick Fuentes, you've got Boris Johnson, you've got Putin, you've got... Everything is all optics now. And it's really hard to work out the wheat from the chaff. And it's just disgusting. I mean, like, Nick Fuentes is a gamer. He infiltrated the gamer community. He didn't even have to drop leaflets or anything like that, or have political... All the political propaganda now is done from the most insane and, you know, the most... What you would have thought would be the most innocent channels. And this is where it's come to now. And, you know, if I was ever to get in the gamer community... If I was ever to sort of like, you know, say my age or my pronouns or my, you know, give my hair or the fact that I've got ADHD, depression and other disabilities, they would probably just call me an SJW retard, you know. And this is what's running the world now, and it's really scary. And I don't want to sound like a boomer. I mean, boomers say, like, television was scary and rock your brain and rock and roll was scary. But no, this is actually quite scary because it is infiltrating society, and it is getting into the minds of the lonely people who don't feel like they're connected with anything else. It's like the incel community. It's really dangerous because it's like, oh, it's okay. You're all right. We've got your back. It's okay, we've got your back. Don't worry, it's fine. We've got your back. It's okay. We've got your back. It's okay. We're gonna look after you. Hi, you're one of us. You see what I mean? It's really creepy. Really, really creepy and dangerous. And that's why I want to. I'm going to continue putting myself out on the net, because however much I think that is pointless, that I'm not going to be able to part the seas. I'm not going to be able to turn back the tide. But all the time that voices like mine aren't getting heard means that people like Nick Fuentes is going to get more of a grab in. So please, let's kind of like, if you can, try and weigh the balance a little bit. You know, we need to talk, we need to shout back against these people. They're infiltrating the internet, they're infiltrating game culture, they're infiltrating YouTube. We need to get the fucking rid of them. It's just, I'm just one individual with no clout whatsoever, and I'm too old and too ugly. You know, if I look like SS Sniper Wolf, I'd probably be able to rile up thousands and thousands of people, but I can't, because just the way it is. I got into this late, and I just thought, well, fuck it, I'm just going to say what I feel like saying. But because everyone just does that, they just say what they feel like saying, don't they? And it's like, well, at some point, what you feel like saying is going to have to counterpoint what somebody else is saying, because there needs to be a debate. Not a debate, but there needs to be... No, it's not. It's like, it seems to be like 80% white, beardy, gamery blokes on YouTube, and then like everyone else, it's like down here somewhere. It's like, you know, let's just diversify YouTube, diversify gamers, diversify the internet at whole, and then we might be able to counteract this bullshit that is getting horrible hold on it, you know, like Nick Fuentes and all this crappy stuff. And there's also crappy stuff on the left, all right? You know, there's some radicals on the left as well. I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I think the more voices are heard, the more we might be able to have some mediation. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I need some food. It's getting late. It's later than I thought it was, and I'm hungry, and also salami. So thank you all for indulging me again, you lovely, lovely worms. And I shall see you again later. Bye.